40 years with the Seattle Mariners. How does that feel?
Madison, it's unbelievable. I'm living my dream. Ever since I was a kid growing up on the south side of Chicago, I wanted to be a major league broadcaster. I wanted to be the next Louis Aparicio, the Hall of Fame shortstop for the White Sox. That didn't work out. I found out in college, that wasn't going to happen. But, I'm living my dream. This is something I wanted to do ever since I was 12 when I was a kid growing up in Chicago. I'd come home from school. My mom was a big Chicago Cub fan. She had a little black and white television set in the kitchen where she was making a great Italian dinner for us that night. And she loved the Cubs. I would go downstairs, turn on the TV set, Madison, and turn down the sound and pretend I was Jack Brickhouse, the Hall of Fame announcer for the Cubs, and do play-by-play. Bases are loaded, Ernie Banks is up. And then when my father would come home from work, we'd watch the White Sox at night or listen to the White Sox on radio. So growing up on the south side of Chicago, Madison, I had the best of both worlds. I had the Cubs during the day, the White Sox at night, and a sandlot behind my house where you saw the movie Sandlot, right? We even had the dog. We had Mo the German Shepherd, and they had Hercules in the movie Sandlot. But that was my life growing up, loving the game of baseball, fall in love with the sport, and also fall in love with baseball on the radio. I'd listen to the broadcasts on the radio broadcasts on my little transistor radio. Those things are gone now. You might find them in an antique store, but that's how I fell in love with the game of baseball as a kid.
Yeah, and so listening to all those games happen in your living room and playing the game yourself, where did that spark come from of, I really want to be a broadcaster?
Yeah, I think as I got older, I started listening to the games differently. As a kid, I was listening to the games on radio as to what the Cubs and White Sox were doing. But then I listened to the voices on the radio for the Chicago Cubs, Jack Brickhouse and Lloyd Pettit and Lou Boudreau and Jim West and Bob Elson for the White Sox. At night, I go, you know what? I want to be that voice coming out of the radio. Wouldn't that be cool? And when I was 12, that's when I wrote Jack Brickhouse a letter. I said, I want to be a major league broadcaster just like you. How do you do it? And he wrote me back this letter when I was 12 years old. And then, I spent 8 years in the minor leagues. I graduated from Southern Illinois University with a degree in radio and TV, got a job right away in the minor leagues, 8 long years in the minor leagues in Alexandria, Louisiana, Amarillo, Texas with the Padres AA teams, Memphis, Tennessee with the Memphis Chicks, the Montreal Expos AA team, and 2 years in Columbus, Ohio with the Yankees AAA team, the Columbus Clippers. And every year you send out a resume and tape and pray that somebody likes you. And Dave Niehaus liked my cassette tape in 1983. And then so I was finally in the big leagues, my first year, a long, long time ago, 42 years ago. And I went to an antique store in Madison and I found a working transistor radio. So I bought this transistor radio, brought it to the booth in the Kingdome. Dave goes, what's that? What are you going to do? I said, Dave, all my life since I was 12 years old, now it's 1983, I said I wanted to be a voice coming out of the transistor radio. Tonight, I'm going to be that voice. So we were on KVI, and I tuned in to KVI. I had the open that night. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Seattle Mariners baseball from the Kingdome. It's the Mariners against the New York Yankees. And I heard my voice coming out of the radio, and that's when I knew I finally made it to the big leagues, when I heard that voice coming out of the transistor radio.
That is so special to look back on all of those years. And something special here about Seattle and the Mariners kept you here because this isn't home for you. So why stay for 40 years?
Well, I love this city. I love the fans. The organization has been great to me. But the reason I stayed here was Dave Niehaus. He got me here as a young broadcaster in 1983. I had a chance to leave the following year to go to the Angels, and I didn't, for more money, because I wanted to be with Dave Niehaus. And his family became my family, Marilyn and Greta, Andy, and Matt, their kids, and my son, Nick, when I got here, was 3 years old at the time. The following year, I had a chance to go to Chicago. Never told my dad that, but I stayed because of Dave Niehaus. I love working with Dave Niehaus and Kevin Kremen, who was a brother of mine from another mother, and we just had a close relationship with Dave and Kevin and myself, and our families just blended together. And so that's the reason I stayed. And the fans and the Mariners treated me great. I did leave after 9 years. I tried to replace a legend in Detroit, Ernie Harwell. That didn't work out. And when it didn't work out after 3 years, Dave Niehaus got me back here again. So if it wasn't for Dave Niehaus, I wouldn't be here. But because of Dave Niehaus and this organization, which has treated me so well, and the fans over the last 40 years, that's the reason I say, and I love it here. I grew up in Chicago where it's just flat.
Right.
And now I've got mountains, I've got lakes, I've got the most beautiful part of the country to live in, and I love it here.
It's amazing to talk to you about your extensive career in broadcast, especially with the Mariners, and to hear all these amazing stories. I'm sure everyone asks you, what's that one moment or that one story, that one conversation with a player that sticks out to you? Is there one, or are there many moments?
Madison, we don't have enough time, but there's been so many.
Yeah.
You know, a young Ken Griffey Jr., who we signed at the age of 17 in 1987, and he came up to the big leagues in 1989 at the age of 19. I mean, he was just a baby, just a kid. We still call him the kid who turned into one of the greatest players of all time. And he was a kid. Spring training of 1989, before he made the ball club, I brought my son to the ballpark in Tempe Diablo Stadium at spring training. He was 8, 9 years old. And I'm out there with Nick. We're the only ones out there, and Junior came out, and he called Nick over. And so they had a little conversation over there about 20 feet away, and I thought, hey, this is pretty cool. Junior's talking with my son. And then Nick walked over to me and he kicked me really hard in my leg. And I go, Nick, what are you doing? He said, Junior said he'd give me $50 if I kicked you really hard in the leg. So that's when I knew that Junior, you know, was a kid, but it was just full of all this amazing Hall of Fame talent. We saw that come to fruition with him. So thousands of interviews, you know, did it for me, you know, loving the game of baseball.
That's amazing. And I know we are on the heels of opening day happening this evening. What's it like for you to have that broadcast moment tonight, introducing everyone to this game, knowing that it's your 40th time doing that?
Madison, it's like Christmas morning. You know, Christmas Eve, you can't sleep because you can't wait to open up that package that you're waiting for from Santa Claus, you know, the next morning. Well, now it's Christmas morning. And now we, as a baseball fan who loves the game of baseball, you get a chance to open up that gift. You find out what your ball club looks like this year. Each and every year, it's a brand new gift. And it's exciting. The ballpark starts to come alive, you know, and it's always a great crowd. You got the red, white, and blue bunting at the ballpark, and it's an amazing celebration of life. It's an amazing celebration of the greatest game that there is in baseball. We get to open up that package tonight, you know, here at T-Mobile Park to see, I think, one of the most exciting teams in the game of baseball. I can't wait. It's Christmas Day again. And
I know so many people ask you, what are your predictions for the season? No one has a magic crystal ball here to figure it out, but you have been spending every single day with this team leading up to opening day. So what are you feeling? How do you think this team's going to do? Madison, I'm really excited about this ball club. Came up a little bit shy last year by one game. And the year before, got to the playoffs when Cal Raleigh hit that home run down the right field line off of Domingo Acevedo. This team is going to get back to the playoffs. Offensively, they are going to be much better. Why? Because they're going to have Randy Rosarena the entire year in left field. Victor Robles all year long in right field. He joined the club in early June of last year and became one of the most exciting players in the game of baseball. Julio Rodriguez is going to have a massive year this year. He's going to be an MVP this year and next year and in the upcoming years. And J.P. Crawford, they really missed J.P. with the 2 injuries last year. Jorge Polanco is going to be healthy this year. He's going to go from second and be over at third base. You have Luke Raley over at first base and Rowdy Tellez, Cal Raleigh, 34 home runs last year, 100 RBIs, a Gold Glove winner and a Platinum Glove winner as well. The best starting staff in baseball, those 5 guys, and now Emerson Hancock will be in the rotation. George Kirby is going to start the year in the IL. I wouldn't trade these guys for any 5 or 6 in baseball. Munoz in the bullpen. Matt Brash is coming back a little bit later on in the early part of the season. Santos and Snyder and Thornton and Saucedo in the bullpen. So all that together in this ballpark, this club is going to get back to the playoffs. I really, really feel that way. Well, you heard it here, folks. Rick Rizzs says it. I love it. Well, you are also, I know, not a player on this team, but you are with them every single day. How do you build that trust and that camaraderie when you are with them and you're telling their stories? And how do you get that from the clubhouse onto broadcast with their trust? That's a great question. You treat them with respect.
these guys are the best baseball players in the world. You know, tonight, 760 players are going to put on a big league uniform. That's it, 760 with 30 different clubs. You know, and it's a privilege to play this game of baseball. And they work so hard at it. They're also great human beings.
Yeah.
You know, you can't find better people than the guys that are in that clubhouse right now. You know, Cal Raleigh, Logan Gilbert, and I can mention everybody.
Yeah.
You know, J.P. Crawford. They're great guys. If you give them respect and give them time, they will come to you, and I need to earn their trust. You know, with the manager and the coaching staff. Sparky Anderson, when I went to Detroit for those 3 years, first day I met Sparky, Hall of Fame manager. I said, Sparky, you know, it's my first day on the job here. I said, I want to earn your trust. He said, I'm going to have to ask you questions about this and that. He said, Ricky, my boy, he says, you ask me any question you want. If I don't have an answer for you, shame on me. All the other managers I've worked with down through the years, from Renee Latchman to Danny Wilson, have been great. But you have to earn their trust, give them their space. And when they have time to do an interview, that's when you sit down and you open up, you talk about their lives. And then you ask them questions about their careers, what happened the night before, or, you know, during the course of the baseball season, what's going on. But you need to earn their trust and give them their space, and they'll be there for you. They have been for me.
I think that's what's so amazing about listening to you, is that you are able to pull tidbits from their personal lives, or maybe something they said to you in the hallway, and make that part of the story of that evening. And you give the backstory to the story. And I think that is what sets you apart.
Yeah. And all I need is a little tidbit. You know, at spring training, Luke Raley and his wife gave birth to a little baby daughter, Reagan, you know, about 2-3 weeks ago. You know, I said, how's Reagan doing? And Luke will stop in his tracks and come over, and he goes, she's up all night and sleeps during the day. We want her to, you know, sleep during the, sleep at night and be up during the day. But you find little stories like that because these people are great people. They're great moms and dads, you know, besides being an outstanding ball player. And from those little tidbits, you know, you can create a story. And that's what I look for with Ken Griffey Jr. and Jay Buhner, the funny things that Jay did, you know, in the clubhouse and you know, on the field. So that's what I like to do. That's what baseball is all about. As a broadcaster, we have the time to weave in the stories, and we can humanize these guys. We have a chance to let the fans get to know the players as people first. They see that they're really good baseball players, that Julio can hit a baseball, you know, 450 feet and go over the wall and catch the ball, and these pitchers can strike everybody out. Logan Gilbert, Luis Castillo, George Kirby, Bryce Miller, Brian Wu, Emerson Hancock. They can see that, but our job is also to tell them, the fans, who these guys are, and you know, behind the scenes before they come to the clubhouse. And that's what I like to do, tell the stories.
Yeah, it's really important.
And you do too.
Thank you.
You're a storyteller
and
too.
You're a great storyteller. I just love it.
You're a great storyteller.
Thank you. Wow, what a compliment. I want to talk about your charitable work too, because I understand that you give not only your time here, which is your job, but outside of your job, you are giving your time to help others. And I would love to know more about where that came from and what part of your heart felt that calling to help others.
Yeah, 30 years ago, we started a charity, Dave Henderson and I, along with Edgar Martinez and Jay Buhner and Dan Wilson and Julio Cruz and John Olerud and Paul Sorrento and Johnny Moses. And I'm missing a few guys here. We started charity, Dave Henderson and I started a charity called Toys for Kids. 1995, we're having that great season that saved baseball in Seattle. That team doing what they did, when they did, and how they did it, saved baseball. After a game, Dave Henderson and I would go across the street to Pioneer Square to have a cold beverage, you know, after a game. We were sitting in McCoy's Firehouse one night. Spent a lot of time at Swanee's, but this night we're at McCoy's Firehouse. And I saw a television report about the homeless situation. And Madison, if you spend any time in Pioneer Square, you could see layers of it. How deep it was, I had no clue. And then I saw this report that said there were 8,316 homeless in King County that they could count. And I turned to Hendu and I said, if there's over 8,000 homeless people, I said, how many are kids? He said, I don't know. I said, Hendu, something I always want to do. Let's round up the guys. And after the season, pool our own money. We'll go find these kids. It's September, so Christmas is right around the corner. And I want to buy toys for kids who need help. So that's what we did. We had a dinner in Issaquah with all the guys and their wives, Edgar Martinez and Dan Wilson and Jay Buhner and their wives, Hendu, and myself, and we pulled our money together, $18,000. I went looking for these kids. A friend of mine was running a shelter in downtown Seattle that had a number of kids, not that many, and then Harborview Hospital had a party for homeless kids, Broadview Women's Shelter. With our $18,000, we bought toys for about 300 kids our first year. And then 3 years later, we started a little dinner through the RBI Club, and we raised $20,000. I found more charities. Fast forward to last year's gala, the Toys for Kids gala, we raised $950,000. We work with 36 different homeless agencies now. We bought toys for over 20,000 homeless kids and underserved children. We also do backpacks for kids. In August, we have Christmas in July here at the ballpark. We started Rick's Locker with some great sponsors, and we bought new baseball equipment for a number of kids in the Snoqualmie Valley Little League. So it's really grown over the last 30 years, and we want to keep it going. So thanks to a lot of great sponsors and people with big hearts, we've been able to hopefully make an impact in our community.
Absolutely. I think you have made an amazing impact in this community.
Thank you.
Those are some impressive numbers. $1 million last year.
Yeah,
wow.
Close to $1 million, yeah. No, it's amazing. Those people come out and do a wonderful job to pour their hearts out along with ours. They have the same passion as we do to give back to the community. You have to give back to the community because they've given me so much.
Very well said. What is something we don't know about you?
Well, I'm really 6'7". I'm sitting down right now. I'm 5'7". Wow, that's a great question.
So maybe I did throw a curveball in there.
I love Italian food. People know that. I talk about that all the time. But I wasn't a cat lover until my son saved a cat out of this barn. And Sparky is the greatest thing that ever happened to me. You know, he cuddles with me at night. You know, I'm never alone. So I was a dog lover, but now I'm the biggest cat lover in the world because I got Sparky.
Sparky.
Yeah.
Cute.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll have to get a picture of Sparky so we can show everybody.
All right. That'd be great. He's very photogenic.
I love it. Oh, I want to ask you too, how are you doing after getting hit in the head with that ball that just came right up to your booth?
Yeah, this is my 51st season in baseball, and I've ducked baseballs in the booth before. We usually get about 3 or 4 in the booth every year. This one, Madison, I couldn't get out of the way of. We were in Maryvale playing the Milwaukee Brewers. Reese Hoskins is hitting. I'm doing the play-by-play. And I go swinging a foul ball and say it's coming up to the booth, and it just keeps coming. And then it got right here, and I didn't want to get hit in the face, so I turned around, hit me right in the back of the head, and knocked me down. I'm getting strangled by my headset microphone, you know. And Gary Hill is doing the color for me at the time. And I said, Gary, do the play-by-play. I'm on the ground, you know. So there was a little chaos going on in the booth there. But I got checked out by the EMTs, you know, at the ballpark in Maryvale. They checked me out. They took my blood pressure. I was okay. The team doctor came up and checked me out for a concussion. You know, I had to do all this and everything. And I passed. And they wanted me to go home. I said, no, I think I'll stay. And I finished the ball game with Gary Hill. He did a great job hanging in there with me. And so I'm okay. I had a huge bump in the back of my head that went down after 3 or 4 days. The headaches went away, and I lucked out. So I get a big bump of that. So next time I'm going to duck. You know,
did they install any protective barriers over there for you, or?
Well, the next day the guys sent up Chris DeWitt from the clubhouse, and I think Justin Hollander sent me up a catcher's helmet and a catcher's mask. So I did about the first half of the game with the helmet on and everything. So it was kind of funny, but at the time it was scary, but I was fine, and I was okay. So I'm going to get out of the way.
Good. Yeah. No injuries.
No,
we got to protect you at all costs.
I'm okay.
All right. Well, we are, just hours away from opening day. So tell me what people can expect on this day. What are you most excited for?
I'm most excited to see the ball club and the excitement of the fans. You take the excitement of the team that for the last 6 weeks getting ready down in Arizona in the sun of 85-degree temperature, now coming up here, the excitement of watching them come together as a group, as a family. That's so much fun, exciting to watch. Then you add, 45,000, 46,000 fans here at T-Mobile Park to watch those two entities come together. It's just amazing on opening day because it's the first game of the year. If you win, it's like you won 10 games. If you don't win, you got 161 more, to win all those games, or as many as you can. But it's just the excitement of that first game, to be out here with your families, with your sons, your daughters, your grandma, your grandpa, just enjoy the greatest game in the world. Opening day should be a national holiday. Kids should have the day off. Parents should have the day off. It's during the week, coming out to the ballpark and have a great time. Like I said, it's like Christmas morning where you finally get a chance to unwrap that beautiful present you're excited to get. Well, tonight you get a chance to open up that present here at the T-Mobile Park at 7:10. But get here early because there's a lot going on, because Ichiro is going to throw out the ceremonial first pitch. This is going to be an incredible year for Ichiro, going to the Hall of Fame in July in Cooperstown, New York. He was almost a unanimous choice. One writer didn't vote for him. I don't understand that. And then we're going to retire his number, and later on in August the 9th, we'll retire his number 51. That'll go up there with Edgar's 11, Junior's 24, and Jackie Robinson's number 42. So it's just a celebration of the game of baseball, the first game of the year, the first day of the year, all wrapped up in one with all the excitement. Opening day is like no other opening day, I think, in any other sport.
I agree. It's going to be amazing.
We've had a lot of great opening days here too.
Yeah, you've been here for many of them.
Yeah.
When it comes to your time with the Mariners, 40 years, how many do you have?
Well, I don't know. I want to stick around as long as it's fun, as long as I enjoy it. I've been, like I said, over 50 years, 8 years in the minor leagues. I still enjoy the preparation, but more than anything, I enjoy those guys in the clubhouse, the people that work here at the ballpark. The fans have been great to me, for 40 years here in this great city. I've had a chance to, grow up here and love this area, the most beautiful part of the country. But, I still love coming to the ballpark every day, the excitement, not nervous, but anxious, always the anticipation of, it's time to go in there. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Seattle Mariners baseball. The lid lifter for the 2025 season. Tonight, the Mariners take on, oh my gosh, it's just exciting. I get goosebumps. I still get goosebumps. And the day I don't have those goosebumps, then it's time to maybe say goodbye. But right now, they're still there, and I can't wait for tonight.
Good. Yay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for talking with me.
You're welcome,
It's been
Madison.
such a pleasure to know more about your history and your life and your time here with the Seattle Mariners.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it. There's been a lot of great opening nights, and we're going to have a great one tonight.
Looking forward to it.
Me too, Madison. Thank you so much.
Thank you.